Good morning, kids. We have a surprise. I'm going to call Caitlin soon, and when I count down to 3, I want you to yell out surprise. Ready? Okay. Hey, Caitlin. Caitlin, come over here.
Hey,
ready?
Sean.
3, 2, 1. Surprise! It's our 27th video anniversary. Can you believe we've done 27 of them?
27.
Now,
My goodness.
I know that you've been secretly planning to get me something really special, so I thought I would get you a gift as well. Wait right there.
Yeah.
Now, look, I know this means a lot to you, so I thought I'd go out of my way and get you something super special. Ready? Look, I got you a brand new iPad.
I've always wanted an iPad. Thank you so much.
I cannot wait for my gift.
Gift.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, you ready?
Yeah?
Ta-da!
This?
Yep.
Wait, is this a trolley key?
Yeah.
How did you know? This is exactly what I wanted. I've always wanted this.
Yes.
This is the best. I'm so glad I didn't get a silly iPad. I always wanted one of these.
I'm so glad you liked it.
Welcome to Kids Church Kids. This is a brand new celebration, our 27th video anniversary.
Welcome to another week. We are up to week 4 of Ready, Set, Follow. And today we are learning all about loving people.
Oh, all right. But before we get into it further, we are going to go straight to our memory verse. All right, you guys ready?
Let's go.
Oh my gosh, I love balloons.
Oh, me too.
I do love a good party.
Same.
And what better way to celebrate with a party with a brand new memory verse?
Yay!
Oh my gosh, are you ready, Brittany?
So ready.
We've got some actions for you at home, so we're going to do it once without the actions, and then we'll learn the actions together. Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
All right. Today it comes from 1 John chapter 2, verse 6. It says, whoever claims to live in him must live as Jesus did. Are you guys ready to do it at home with us?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So whoever claims to live in him
Whoever claims to live in him
must live as Jesus did.
must live as Jesus did.
And it's from 1 John 2, 6.
1 John 2, 6.
All right, see ya.
Bye, guys.
Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was so short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, "He is gone to be the guest of a sinner." But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay them back 4 times the amount." Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost."
You watching me? Oh, sorry. I was just having a great time here, reading my comics and enjoying my muesli bars because I've got heaps and I don't have to share them with anyone because they're all mine. I have every flavor I could want, really. I've got a whole heap of comics here, all different stories. I can just enjoy the whole thing by myself. But is that the best thing to do? Probably not, really. See, I know that having all these things for me is really good for me. But then when I think about other people, yeah, I probably should think about other people. That's the point, really. I don't want to be greedy, but in the Bible story that we're looking at today, the story about Zacchaeus, or Zach, he had a lot of stuff too. He spent a long time working really hard and getting a lot of money, building a big house, and having everything that he could ever want or need. But like in my comic collection, sometimes I miss some of the issues, some of the comics, and I want this certain one that I'm missing. Zacchaeus, I'm just going to call him Zach, he was missing something really big out of his collection. You see, even though Zach had a lot of things, he was still missing friends. He didn't really have any friends because in order to get his big collection of money and all the good things that he wanted, he cheated and, ripped people off. So they didn't like him at all. So I just want you to imagine Zach being this guy that had a big collection. It could be like me with my collection here. And then you want part of my collection. I'm not going to let you have it. It's totally mine. And I care about my collection. And Zach cared about his collection as well, his money collection, all the rich things that he had. But like I said before, the thing he was missing was friends. And he couldn't even buy friends. Actually, I think he probably tried, like put on some big parties and have a big barbecue and give everyone free food and they would like him for a little while. And then they'll go away at the end of the party because they were not truly his friends. You see, in the Bible story with Zacchaeus, he heard about Jesus, and I reckon he was confused because he knew Jesus was pretty poor. He knew Jesus didn't have a big house because he was traveling all the time. But why was he so popular? How did he get more than a collection for himself? How was it that Jesus was attracting a crowd? In fact, he heard that Jesus was coming along the road past his house pretty soon. He didn't have any social media. He didn't have any newspapers or TV to tell him that Jesus was coming into town on the 11th of October. He had no idea, but he heard the people. He heard crowds of people. And I think Zacchaeus would have felt a bit jealous. How can I have everything, but I still feel like I'm missing something? And he wanted to go and see Jesus coming past, but no one would let him come in. You know, if they're all standing alongside of the road, waving and cheering, and then they see Zacchaeus trying to push in and get to the front, they're not going to let him do that. He was just so greedy. People did not like him, especially if he'd cheated them as well and taken some of their extra money that he wasn't meant to take. So that's the story of why Zacchaeus ended up climbing the tree. So he got up the tree and he wanted to see Jesus. He really wanted to hear what was going on. Why is this guy so popular? And I think, it's not really in my Bible, but I'm imagining that as Zacchaeus was up in the tree looking down and he saw Jesus coming along with all the people cheering and then Jesus stopped and looked at him in the tree, I reckon Zacchaeus nearly fell out of the tree because he would have been shocked that someone talked to him. People didn't like talking to Zacchaeus. But Jesus, this important guy, stopped and talked to him. That was weird enough. But do you know what else happens in the story? Jesus invites himself to come to Zacchaeus' house. And he wanted to go and spend time with him. And Zacchaeus, I'm sure, did not know how to handle that. Now, I'll leave you to investigate this story a little bit more. But for my collection here, I notice if there's something missing. And I really do care about my collection. Do you know when you have a collection of things, it's got a special name? So a collection of comics, I think, is called a collection of comics. But if you've got a whole heap of other things together, like a whole heap of musicians, and they're all playing their instruments, that's called a band. If you've got a whole heap of grapes and they're all together and you hold up the grapes, it's called a bunch of grapes. If you're at school, you're with other kids and that's called a class of school, a class of kids. There could be some people hanging out together doing some not very good things. That could be a gang. And like my hero, the Phantom, he fights for justice and helps the police to catch gangs and break them up and to help them to find a better way in life. There's heaps of other words that you might come across like group, lot, squad, staff, team, tribe. You've heard all of those. They mean different groups of people. But have you ever heard of ecclesia? It's not really a word that you hear much of, is it? Ecclesia. Probably because it's not even English. It's Greek. And in the Bible times, a lot of people talking to each other in Greek, even writing the Bible in Greek, they called a whole heap of Christians coming together, they called it ecclesia. And we usually call that church or mass, where there's Christians massing together, Christians that are coming together and they want to be with each other. Why do they do that? That was something that Zacchaeus was really jealous about, I think, because he wanted to be part of something where he belonged, where people actually cared about him. And that's why he would have been so surprised when Jesus stopped and talked to him, because Jesus wanted to be his friend. It was amazing. You might have noticed down here on the front of the table. So when you see a poster like this, lost pet cat, responds to lion, sometimes, you know that this sort of pet belonged to someone and was really special in their family. And I think maybe in some way, I reckon Zacchaeus probably felt like that he wanted to belong, that if he had a family that cared for him, maybe they would really miss him if he was not around. So that poster there makes me think of another Bible story. And you would have read it, I'm sure. In Luke chapter 15, there's a lost sheep. You know that one where the farmer notices that there's a sheep missing? And then there's a lost coin where the lady notices that she's dropped some money and wants to go and find it. And then there's the lost son, or the parable of the prodigal son. They're all stories that Jesus told about things that were precious that were lost. And I think Zacchaeus was lost. Maybe he didn't quite realize, but he wanted to belong to something bigger than just his collection, all his money and his rich house. He had an important job, but he wanted to belong to people that cared for him. Interestingly, in Luke chapter 14, which comes just before the lost coin and lost sheep and lost son, just before that, Jesus was talking about a party, a really, really special party that a lot of important people were invited to. Because it was a Pharisee, one of the really important people in that time who knew the Bible, and they were really important, sort of like a pastor, I guess. And he was really important. And a lot of people wanted to go and have dinner there. And Jesus was invited as well. Jesus went to the house of this Pharisee, and Jesus was watching and he was noticing something really interesting. It says in chapter 14, verse 7, when he noticed how the guests had picked the places of honor at the table, he told them this parable. So at my house, we've got a round dinner table, and you can sit anywhere because it's the same on all sides. But if you've ever been to a house where there's a long table, usually whoever sits at the end of the table is very important. They're the guests of honor, or it might be the mother or the father who sit at the head of the table, because that's a place of honor. So I imagine that this dinner party for the Pharisee, he would have been sitting there at the end of the table, the most important place. And Jesus was watching, and he was noticing how the guests picked their places. They wanted to come and sit as close as they could to the important person, like a VIP seat. But this is what Jesus said. When someone invites you to a wedding feast, do not take the place of honor. For a person more important than you might come along. And then the host, the person running the party, might say, oh, can you get up and just move down because this important person needs to come? Oh, gee, that would be embarrassing. So then you would be humiliated and you'll have to take one of the least important places. But Jesus says, when you are invited, take the lowest place. So the not important chair, like further down the table, so that when your host comes, the person hosting the party, they'll come and sit at the table and they might look out for you and say, oh, what are you doing sitting down there? Come and sit up here. You are my special friend. Come and sit right here beside me. Then you will be honored in the presence of all the other guests. For all those who exalt themselves or make themselves feel important will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted, will be lifted up and given honor. So it's sort of like that when we come into a family with Jesus, where we don't necessarily feel like we might be the most important, and there are other people like Zacchaeus that would sort of want to be the most important person. But what is community? I'm sure you've heard that word before, community. And before I was saying church and mass and ecclesia, where those are words for when Christians come together. So what is community? Well, I grew up in community on a farm when I was a kid. It wasn't just my family living in a house. We had a really special farm, and we had other houses on the farm, like neighbors, and we used to have dinner together every day and lunch together every day in a big hall. And sometimes we would have a dinner just for our own family, but mostly it was in community. And I love that because even though we still sat with our family at our family dinner table, next to that was another family dinner table with my best friend. And we got to have all this time together growing up on the farm. So I know what it's like to be in community like that. And that's really, really special. Maybe you feel like that when you go camping with some other people, or when you go on holidays with your cousins and grandparents, and you all get together and you feel like, wow, this is great. I belong here. And this is a whole heap of people that they know me and they love me and they care about me. So I think that's what Zacchaeus really wanted. He didn't want his collection anymore. He liked being rich. He liked being important. But he really wanted community. He wanted family that he could belong to. And he knew that climbing up in that tree was the first thing he could do to try and see Jesus. And then Jesus changed his world. And you know what comes next in the story. Jesus goes and has dinner with him. And he says, I'm sorry for cheating people. I'm going to give people everything back and I'll give you more back. And he was trying to show that he was really sorry for the things he'd done and being greedy. So my challenge to you today is to think about, well, who do you belong with? Is there someone really missing you if you were not there, like this cat? Are you really belonging in a community where you can come to church or you come to school or you go to sport and people love being there with you? Well, remember those words from Jesus about the dinner party. Don't put yourself as the number one. Put yourself back a bit and serve other people so they can be really important. If they choose to honor you, then you will be lifted up and exalted. So I don't know what you're collecting, but I'd love you to tell me about it next time you see me at church. Maybe you're collecting comics or cards or coins or stamps or I don't know. You have to tell me what you're collecting. See you guys next time. Thanks.
Hey kids, it's that time for our brand new segment where we are going to learn a brand new skill from one of our leaders. So today we have the amazing Grace Knights and she's going to teach me and you how to do a tongue twister.
Hey guys, so let's just do a quick warm up.
Ooh, okay.
Right? So Sean, copy after.
Okay.
Ma, ma.
Ma, ma,
One more time. Everyone at home, let's go.
ma, ma. Like that?
Perfect.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect.
All right, so we're going to slowly read through this sentence.
Okay.
We shall surely see sunshine soon. All together.
We shall surely see sunshine soon.
All right, now go, Sean. Try and say it really, really fast.
We shall surely see sunshine soon. Boom! Woo! All right. Can we go even faster than that? Grace, I want to see how fast you can go at reading this.
Over and over.
Ready? Go.
We shall surely see sunshine soon. We shall surely see sunshine soon. We shall surely see sunshine soon.
Oh my goodness. Can anyone at home go any quicker than that? All right, I'm going to try. Ready? We shall surely see sunshine soon. We shall surely see sunshine soon. We shall surely see sunshine soon. Oh, that's tricky. I wonder if any of you guys at home can do any better. I would love to hear some of you guys try this tongue twister and maybe some other ones. And remember, do some of those to warm up.
Very important.
All right, but that is it for today. We will see you next week. Thank you for joining and watching us. We will see you later. Bye.